Smoke, siren, anxiety, uncertainty, pinch of excitement, and nothingness, void. These are some of the states of mind, the scenario, and the conditions that we're experiencing these days. Whether you like it or not, war is inevitable. At times, peace is inevitable, but only few people are able to enjoy this peace. I'm sure that you're able to comprehend with what I'm trying to convey through this video. Always I give topics to learners when they begin making sentences, and one of the topics is war and peace. I'll show you that cube. I made a cube with a lot of topics, and one topic is war and peace. At times we say you have to forgive. But when it comes to certain states of mind, action, deeds, warning, discrimination, I think it's important to draw the boundary. This is applicable even to your personal relationship. So today we're going to focus on two things. One is thinking in English. And the second part of the video is there a relationship between war and language? War and language, language and war. Do they have any connection? So first part, think in English. This is the third part to this topic. I've already done 2 videos on how to think in English, where I gave words, I've given the step-by-step guidelines on how to exactly begin thinking in English. You have to take a conscious effort in the beginning, but after that it becomes music. It just becomes the music that you love. Believe me, trust me. This is the third video to that. And what is it about? You can effortlessly begin thinking in English when you connect language to everything around you. So today we are experiencing something that we cannot express in words. We have been experiencing uncertainties, we have been experiencing terror, unpredictable zones of excitement, terror, anxiety, fear, what, how, when. It affects the other parts of the world also. I'm speaking about the innocent people. I'm not speaking for just one country. The innocent people shot dead, killed, and who are prone directly, indirectly, who are subjected to torture and damage. So, thinking in English happens when you connect whatever you see, whatever you observe. That is the word. If you don't have the patience to listen and observe, thinking in English becomes a challenge. There are some learners in the intermediate level who don't know how to listen. We have to teach them how to listen, because with listening it will be easier for you to observe and after that contemplate, and then thinking in English becomes easier. So that is the idea. So today when we experience mixed feelings, when I say mixed feelings, it's not happiness and sorrow and sadness, no. Mixed feelings. We don't know how to express this particular state of mind, this scenario, this surrounding, and even whatever is happening in different parts of the world and the country. I am referring to every country that's going through this war zone. It has been going on for months and years. I don't want to mention the names of the countries. So just like how I mentioned before, everybody is prone to. They become a part of it. Whether you know why there is a war, whether you want peace or war, whatever you want, everybody wants peace. You become an inevitable part of this. Again, when I speak about thinking in English, you will be able to do it when you have such kind of states of mind, scenario, conditions, where you're not able to express completely in words. People who are struggling to come out of that shock. Okay, I'm not just referring to our country, but also different parts of the country have been through this. It's a big shock. You know that I was brought up in Kuwait, so Kuwait was also prone to war. I still remember the dark Kuwait that was filled with smoke. I always consider Kuwait as my mother country, just like India. So when I listen to the national anthem of both the countries, I get goosebumps. So though I was small, I still remember the war, the smoke, dirt, and the emptiness. So as a child, I'm still able to recollect the emptiness that we went through. Though I'm not able to remember the details, I get to hear about it from my parents, from my friends now. But still, that void, the emptiness, the fear, the kind of worry that was always lurking in the war prone areas, everything, uncertainty, I still remember that. And it's terrifying. It is terrifying. In those days, I was not able to completely comprehend what was happening. I didn't know the meaning of war. But still, I could understand. I was able to understand that something is not all right. People are terrified. They are fleeing. They are not going to be in this place forever. And they are in danger. So that is something that haunts me at times here and there. And then, of course, our country helped us during that time. So now we have been through this, right? When we read history, when we speak about our country, we know what happens. So I'm just worried about the innocent people who get affected, not just of our country, but everywhere. Everywhere. I hope you understand that. If you have reached this part of the video, you will understand what I'm trying to convey through this. Thinking in English becomes easier for an intermediate learner when you're able to relate very easily with mixed emotions, something that is indescribable, something that becomes indescribable because of the situations and environment. Where you're able to put these things into words, you may take some time to do it, but try it out. What you're going through, even if you are not able to see what's going on, if you're not staying in the border also, what is the kind of talk, the conversation, what's going on around? What are the different perspectives of the young, the old? We are living in this tech-savvy world, so how things get shared and how false news also become a part of our daily routine. Such kind of things you can think about. Next part of the video is war, writing, language. Is there any connection between war and language? Definitely there is. When you read history, you would have come across this, that language undergoes change, some kind of transformation, at times revolution, reformation. And there are other periods of the history where thinkers, philosophers, psychologists, linguists, all these people brought about different language, aspects of language like phrases, words, vocabulary. It happens gradually. Nobody does it intentionally. They begin questioning. So when they begin questioning, the expressions and phrases change. I think some of you know about this, that we have war writers. There are some war writers here. It's there on the screen. There are so many other writers who praised war, who detested the idea of war itself. So when I say they praised war, it's not that they loved war, but a war always brings about some change, for the better or for the worse. So there are people who reflect on it. They would have lived during that time. They would have documented certain experiences we don't know, or they would have heard it from somebody else. But everything becomes a part of history. It becomes a part of literature, history, politics, economics, and even the societal changes, everything. It adds to the present era. There were prolific writers, there were writers who wrote occasionally. There were also writers who just wanted to share their personal memoirs. So they never shared one objective. There was no one type of writing that they followed under war, under personal memoir, or under the different reflections that they documented, especially after war, post-war. But we can be assured of something, that is, they always embraced humanity. So even now, I think it's important to embrace humanity, because all that we are trying to do is embrace humanity. Whether you retaliate, whether you give a warning, or whether it's a kind of a boundary that you draw in your own relationship also, it's for the better, it's for humanity, because mental state of mind of each person is very important. Especially this is something that we have to practice in this particular era. It has got nothing to do with the age, the different levels of the society, because world is becoming so fast, and if you are not going to change for the better, especially giving importance to your mental health, it's definitely going to affect you. Now let me tell you how to think in English. You will have a lot of words, like in the beginning I gave you some words, few words, very few words, like drill, siren, peace, harmony, balance, thinking, boundary, destruction, damage, crumbling, shattered, A lot of words connected to war and destruction, and also humanity, of course. You can write some words. With these words, try to frame sentences, because sentences become your thoughts, and your thoughts will add to your fluency. So you don't have to sit and ask yourself to think in English by just looking at some words or allowing some motivation to enter your head and brain. No, it's not like that. You just begin with simple words. You begin with observation, actually. Look around you. Listen to people, observe people, listen to everything that's happening around, or just switch on the news. Listen to good talks. And from there you get the words, and words transform to sentences and then to thoughts. And this will help you to gather. It's like a chain. You beat the long chain together and it adds to your fluency. So that's what actually happens. It happens in split seconds. You don't have to be taught to do that if you're able to do it with some practice. And how do I practice? I've given you the guidelines for that. The next question is there a connection between war and language? Definitely there is. I already answered that question. When you read history, you know that when there is war between two countries, people from different culture and language come together. So they get an access to the other person's, the other country's culture, the language also. It's not that they learn the language, but directly, unknowingly, indirectly and all, they get an access to the other language, the other culture, the other thought. In this process, it's like a process, especially in the earlier times and periods of history, we saw colonialism, imperialism. The dominating country always predominated. They always had the authority and power. So their language was used by everybody. And what happens as a result? The language of the defeated country will no longer be in use. Sometimes it will start deteriorating, it will start fading away. It happens just like that because it's not in use. So when you don't use language, it starts fading away slowly. Nobody uses it, and then nobody even knows about that dialect or language or even words. So in the times during the colonialism, imperialism and all that, but today what happens? Today you get an access to different culture, different language. But apart from that, expressions, words, all these things get coined. Some words, some new expressions. You get to hear about some phrases. If you read the newspaper today, you get to hear about a lot of things that you already knew, but you didn't know the word for that. Okay, for example, mock drills. We all know about mock interview. Drill also, of course, we know. Mass drill. Children will know because they will be asked to do mass drills in schools during assembly. But mock drills, especially when it comes to a nation, what is the meaning? So that's information. It is universal. It happens anywhere. And then you being alert. Okay, the red signal, the kind of cues that's given by the defense system. Apart from the names, apart from the general knowledge that you get some words and expressions and some vocabulary. So you may tell me it happens with any part. Yes, it happens even when you have a debate on television or when you listen to a podcast, a simple conversational podcast that's created by authentic resources. But here, the difference is you are living it. Even if you are not witnessing the war, even if you don't get to see it live, you are a part of it. Somewhere sitting in some part of the country, you are a part of it. And you may have a little bit of fear, little bit of at least anxiety. Some people have excitement. What's happening there? What's happening here? I don't know. There is a fraction of the society that experiences some kind of excitement. So some parts of the society experience excitement, so it varies, but still it tickles you. It will give you some emotions. It will give rise to some feelings. So you're living it directly or indirectly, and that will give rise to words and words to sentences, because each person will have different perceptions. So if you're working in the airport, or if you're working as a teacher, or if you're working somewhere else as a doctor, you may not be directly connected to all these things, but still the common conversation, at times the connecting point, the common point will be whatever is happening around you. So to begin a conversation, the small talk, everything will be part of this, because it's all connected to one thing, that is uncertainty. Don't know what's going to happen. Maybe just keep up hope. Let's be positive about whatever is happening. So yes, we need to have a lot of hope with a lot of prayers and wishes to everybody who is behind this. So that is about thinking in English, where I already mentioned how to think in English, but the relationship. So expression, words, some kind of usages get coined during war, the period of war. If you read books on First World War, Second World War, there were a lot of diaries, personal memoir. There were a lot of stories, journals written by people. One such journal is this one, beautiful, beautiful documentation and live experience of a girl, a young girl who was trapped. I was not able to believe the kind of turmoil she went through, and how did she manage to write all these things when she was going through it, when she heard the sounds and the blasts and everything around her. I mean, that is just commendable, impeccable. Okay, so like that, we get to know about the perceptions and the ideas of different people from around the world. We may think that every common person, the civilians, face the same anxiety and fear. But it's not like that. People will have different situations. They will be from different environment and atmosphere. So that itself can be a learning. When you put everything together, you get this knowledge. So here we are not discussing about history, but language has got a direct connection with war, the kind of change. So some change will be there for some time, and after that comes a transformation. So all changes put together leads to the transformation. Just like how you get transformed after the small changes, when you're learning a language, you will experience some change. And putting together all these changes, you have this transformation. So all the changes put together would help you to transform into another version, right? So it comes towards the end. It's a whole new process. It's not something that happens instantly. And that is why we ask you to have some patience, do some kind of exercise, give some movement to the brain, to your hand, think, contemplate. And the first step is to begin thinking in English. And before that, images, think, have pictures in your mind, because irrespective of the language that you use, you will have pictures in your mind. It's like the film, the reel, you will have images. And when you put the images together, you may get some words to sentences, and sentences are thoughts, and that contributes to fluency. So here, if you have reached this part of the video, I appreciate that. I know that you have a lot of patience. This video is not to support any country, to demean, or to pass any derogatory comments on anyone. There is always an intention behind anything. Whatever we want, you and me, all of us, I believe that what we want is peace, harmony. Okay, because we enjoy this beautiful life, and after the COVID, I mean, we are closer to understanding the value, the significance of gratitude. So today you're enjoying peace. Today, if you're enjoying the fresh air, just be grateful for that. The remaining, of course, you pray and salute to everybody who is a part of this, even to people who are trying to come out of the shock, to all those who are going through pain for the sake of others. I mentioned this through one of my videos when one film got released, that if there is somebody who's taking the pain to just keep us safe, to keep us secured, I think we need to be grateful for that with our life. So that's important. It's not just the soldiers, but anybody who takes that bit of effort to see you happy, to see you smile. I think that's a blessing. If you feel that life is gone, if you feel that this life is useless, at this point, if you feel that you're worthless, if there is somebody who's there to just keep you happy or see you smile, I think that is a big blessing, especially in this tech-savvy world. So thanks a lot, and thanks for watching me. I hope you got some points from here. Here it's all about thinking in English and how language undergoes some sort of change and eventually transformation after war, post-war. Even before that, people anticipate certain things, but during that period, the war period, it is a big process that language goes through. I hope you understand that. Happy learning.